I know. I see. Now you got that battered spout.
A little. It is a little bit of that.
Yeah.
You're right. Like just coming off the shit like that, and even Ratchet and Clank, or the Angry Birds.
You didn't finish
movie.
Ratchet and Clank,
I
though.
couldn't.
You could. You chose not to.
Fair.
And recently, yesterday actually, we had a TV show come out called Castlevania.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and then you're like, what the hell is that? What is that? That sounds like a goofy name. Is that like Transylvania and Castle put together?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is. But no, people, you guys know the game Castlevania, the big series that came out. God, what was that? 85 or something?
The first one, I think it was 85.
Yeah, it's been out, Jesus, for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with Castlevania, it's gone through multiple changes. It takes place from multiple times in the timeline. You got some taking place in the 1700s, and then you have others taking place in the future.
Yeah.
So like it's a game about wild shit and a lot of vampiric things happening, and being a hero, whether you be Alucard or Trevor or I think her name was Sophie or
Sypha.
Sypha.
And that's in Castlevania 3.
Yeah, Sypha. And that's what the Castlevania 3, that's one of the big ones we're going to be talking about today, because it kind of plays in part more to what's going on in the new Castlevania series brought to us by Netflix. And here are all the characters right there brought in. Spoiler alert, if I don't know if they were really hiding this or not, but Alucard is there.
Yes.
He shows up at the very end. He is there, though.
He was in the trailers and stuff, too.
Okay, I was just hoping. Yeah,
They showed him in the promos.
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin it for anybody. You spoilers! You didn't... Like,
Get over yourself.
Yeah, man. It's a show on Netflix that if you haven't watched it by now, you obviously don't care about watching it. I mean, excuse me, if you don't have anything to do, because some people are at Rooster Teeth right now. Like these guys up here are coming to weddings. But yes, the three characters right here are the main characters in the new Netflix series on Netflix. To your house, to your house, to you. But no, the new Netflix series, the Castlevania, it stars these three guys, and it actually, for people, you're thinking, what, is this being these little characters right here? Is this from the game? Is this art pulled from the game? No, this is actually the art pulled from the TV show. I know a lot of you, when you first heard Castlevania, you're like, holy shit, we're gonna get something like Blade, or like, what's that other one? The shitty one by Uwe Boll, Blood Rain.
Blood Rain.
Yeah. Yo, was that Ben Kingsley in that?
Oh, I think he was.
Oh,
yeah.
buddy, you need your ass kicked. He did. Ben Kingsley has been in 2 horrible video game movies.
Oh, yeah.
That and Prince of Persia.
Yep.
But if you get a third one, we might have to take you out. Us as a video game community might have to put you down. Sorry, buddy. But with Castlevania, the new series on Netflix, it is purely animated. It's basically heavily anime inspired.
Yes, and I was really glad that it was, because when I first heard that it was announced, I was hoping, it's like, I personally, before I knew it was animated, I was hoping that it would be, because when just those games, even the old ones from the 80s on the original Nintendo, they're very atmospheric, and I would see that translating very effectively into animation, much more so than live action, unless they had a huge budget for it, which I wasn't expecting them to. It's Castlevania.
Right.
So,
yeah, so with this, you're like, all right, what does it look like? And, what is it all about? Well, here's just a quick trailer of the Netflix release for Castlevania. Just check this out. Then we'll come back and give you our opinions about Netflix's Castlevania. Say it now, vampires and shit. But yes, people, the Netflix's Castlevania, it finally got released yesterday, as it said on the trailer right there, July 7th. And it's relatively short and sweet. It comes in at a very nice pace.
it is real short. There's only 4 episodes.
Yes. 4 24-minute episodes or something like that. So you're like in and out real quick.
It almost, I wouldn't even call it a season. Right now it has like season 1 of Castlevania. This is a pilot. It plays out like an extended pilot.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
And here's where we get into the review, and Weird is going to talk freely about it. If you have not seen it yet, there may be a few spoilers in here. Sucks for you to plug your ears and tune out for a second. But honestly, these spoilers aren't even really mega spoilers, because these are things that they kind of already set in motion from the beginning, and you see them coming from episode 1.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with the game, you're probably going to see a lot of this stuff coming too. Namely Castlevania 3, because that's what this is. It's an adaptation of that game.
So with Castlevania, this new series, as you can see, it's heavily inspired by anime. It's all pure animation. And for the most part, what you saw in the trailer, all that very high themed orchestral music and all those beautiful action scenes and all that cool stuff, you're like, wow, this looks like it's badass. It's gonna be, edge of your seat. I can't wait. Oh no, how's this person gonna get out of this? And oh no, this is gonna be amazing. It's kind of like that. For me, it was kind of like that. A lot of what goes on in the Netflix Castlevania series, there is a lot of talking. There's a lot of dialogue, man. It is an obscene amount of dialogue, and you're watching it. And keep in mind, this is a series about this small little country in Europe. And them having to deal with Dracula and the heroes coming out of it to face Dracula and stop all of his creatures from destroying the world and basically, destroying Wakalia, I think it was.
Wallachia.
Wallachia. I was like, I don't know. I said Wichita.
It's spelled Wallachia. Wallachia. I think that's how it's pronounced.
But the funny thing is, and this goes into one of my issues with this series, is you hear it pronounced differently throughout the series.
Oh yeah.
So it's there's a bishop character in here, and he goes like, "Oh, Wallachia," and then at the beginning he's like Wallachia. I'm like, so which one is it? Like, who is the director of this?
It's like the streets in Austin, man.
I feel like, but what country have you noticed? Like, the residents can't pronounce their country name right. Like even German people know, like they like know Deutschland, and then Germany. But like these people can't even get the name of their country right, and they're saying it in English, the only language that they speak there. So it's like, I don't know if this is right. No, don't this. No. So that's one of the issues with Netflix's Castlevania. I keep just Castlevania. I'll say that from now on. With Castlevania, and it's sad because the animation for the most part is very beautiful. It feels very. Excuse me. Let me change that because I'm about to get into that in a second. It looks beautiful. Everything looks like if you took a still of it, you could just hang it up on the wall. It looked like a poster you could use.
Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of really cool shots when it's just characters talking. It is dialogue heavy, but it's not just stationary shots of just two people talking. They do some real interesting shots with the animation, and it helps that even though it is dialogue heavy, I think a lot of the dialogue is actually really good, and it does a good job of building up the world and giving you a sense of exposition without feeling like exposition, because you're also getting to know these characters too.
See, I'm glad you bring that up, because while I feel that the dialogue was written well, I feel like it was performed poorly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Here's why. There are some really good voice actors in here, and there's even one who I think is a guy that was just going balls to the wall with this. And Gert, you probably back me up on this. This character right here, the Bishop of Wallachia.
Oh yeah.
This dude, anytime he gets a chance to go on some, I am here. And you are down there, and you are over there. I was like, bro, you're being real dramatic right now, and this is chick burning at the stake in front of you. Like, this is not the time or place.
He is hammy as shit.
He is hamming it up something vicious.
He is.
Yeah, if you're Muslim, you can't watch this. It's too much pork. But he is hamming it up wild, and you're just like, all right, sure. But then you get the character Trevor, who just come in, and he's like, I don't want to be here, and this and that. And you're just like,
he's drunk through a lot of it too.
No, he's just drunk for the first episode or the second episode, and then like
he's drunk through half the episodes. Then
okay, but like still, he's still, even when he's not drunk, he's still like, oh, this guy is grating. He's getting on my nerves.
Oh, he annoyed you?
Yeah, he annoyed the fuck out of me because his character was for me. His character, and you're saying, who is that guy? It's Buddy right here, Trevor Belmont. He is the guy holding the dagger or the sword in the front with the throwing up the gang signs. Or what is he? Oh, those are knives. Okay, I thought he was holding on. I thought he was throwing up gang signs and had knives in his hands. But no, that's Trevor, and he's the main character in this, or one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And like for me, the character in the video game, they go even to explain like how he is. He's very brash, he's very rude, but he's also a tactical genius, and he's also a great fighter.
Yeah.
So when you hear this, I'm thinking, all right, I think he's gonna come in and he'll be rude and be very to the point, you know, be like that. But in this, he is just a dick.
Oh, he totally is.
Like he is like one of the most unlikable people in the world, in this world especially.
I don't like. He is a dick, but they establish, at least for me, I thought they established early on he has a good reason to be, because I mean, if you're familiar with the series at all, his family, the Belmonts, they've spent their entire lives literally fighting demons from hell. And the thanks they get is being excommunicated from the church and all the people they were trying so hard to save, literally through generations, treating them like shit.
Right.
Like if someone just sees them at the bar, they're just like, "Oh, that motherfucker," and they just will try to like fuck with him and even kill him at points, just because they hate his family so much. So I was like, yeah, he's a dick, but he has a good reason to be, and I feel like everyone else is actually a bigger asshole to him than he is to them, because he's just like, look, man, I just want to leave. I just want to pay for my drink and get the fuck out of here. And they're like, nah, no, we're not letting that happen.
Right, and here's where I would disagree, because this goes into some Batman logic, because like it's like, all right, if all these people like hate you, you still fight for them and you still like try to be nice and cool with everybody, but this dude is like, I'm not helping you. They're like, the world is in it. Can you help this person? No. Like I don't want to do that. It's like, well, dude, like if you just like maybe whip your whip out and go for it, give him the whip appeal, then do it. And he's like, nah, I'm not doing that. And that's one of the big drawbacks for me when it comes to this series. Like I really wasn't. I understood his tragedy, and I understood like he's basically just a vagabond, just going around doing what he needs to do, just getting drunk and getting out.
Yeah.
But it just got to the point where he wasn't likable to me as a character.
Okay.
Like with most people, like they could be charming enough to be like, all right, I know you're an asshole, but I'm still gonna rock with you because you're a cool guy. Jeremy Piven in Entourage, or most of his role playing the same characters over and over. Like he's an asshole, but you're interested because he's an interesting character. Or even, God, any villain from most James Bond movies, you're like, I'm not rooting for you, but you cool, so I can understand your point to do this.
Yeah.
But Trevor, it's just like I understand you're supposed to be the hero of the story, but I just don't like him. I don't fuck with him, man. I was not feeling him or his voice actor in this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like, I was like, all right, fine. Keep in mind, like I said, there are people in here that are hamming it up. And that's the other thing too. It's kind of weird how you have one guy hamming it up and the other guy serious. Because prime example, there's some really cool, like, there's some really great dialogue in here. Some of it's acted well, like the scene I'm about to show you right here, between a bishop and a demon.
Yeah.
And again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the show, this is coming from the last episode, so just a big heads up there. But with this actor and playing the demon and the bishop, you can feel like, all right, this is good dialogue. I'm really happy that they decided to include this part. And this, for me, was one of the highlights of the show. Wow, like Netflix, you guys put your foot in this. Like you killed it with having this dialogue go on and having that action scene and that violence and gore. And by the way, we'll touch on that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I really like. But those scenes are so few and far between that I'm just like, I get really bored with this show. Like I remember watching it and I was like falling asleep on the couch. Like, and it was like the middle of the day. It was like 3:00 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, dear God, man. It was just, for a lot of it, just boring, especially when it came to talking.
I guess I just disagree. I was really interested in it, and I wasn't expecting to be. I'm not a huge Castlevania fan. Not that I dislike it. I don't. I've just never really played it all that much. I've played it a little bit. So I was just kind of like, we'll see how it goes. But even like from the very beginning, when it's where the first 2 or 3 minutes of the first episode, it covers how Dracula meets his wife, which is a big motivation for Dracula eventually just raining down hell on this countryside. I was shocked. Like I was pretty hooked immediately by it, and I really liked the performance of Richard Armitage in this as Trevor, just because he's kind of like a Han Solo-ish character a little bit, like where he is.
I feel like Han Solo's more charming than this dude.
He is. He is. But this guy's an asshole and a dick, but even like early on in the second episode, he's someone that is going to do the right thing. He'll do it begrudgingly, but he does like save people in need. But he's just like, fuck this shit again. All right, let's do it. and I think there's a nice parallel between him and Dracula as characters, where they both have a very similar scene and they say the exact same thing, where they both have this kind of disdain for humanity just because they do nothing. They're letting this church just run rampant. And if I could really criticize it for anything, and there are some issues I definitely have with it, the church is just evil as fuck in this. I like the bishop is.
I mean, what's the difference?
The bishop is a fun character. We said that actor's hamming it up. He's hamming it up in a good way. It's fucking Castlevania. This is like it's Dracula horror inspired. So you can tell he's having a lot of fun with this. But he's not really that interesting. He's just evil. So I get this. I get where Trevor and Dracula are coming from, but I do wish they made the church and the priests and the bishop a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit more nuanced. But they're just your kind of token religious fanatics that you see in a lot of forms of fiction.
Okay, that's fair. So as I can tell right now, Gertz is more of a fan of the dialogue and acting than I am. But
yeah,
for the most part, there's still more to go to a series. This is basically a movie. Going into this. And the other thing is the animation, the way it looks. And for the most part, like I said, is any moment in this series you could just pause it and be like, wow, that's a great contrast. It looks beautiful. I could just stop this and hang it up on the wall now. And that's something that's great. But as you saw with that scene between the bishop and the demon, when they start moving, it gets very rough.
Yeah, there are a couple of fight scenes in this where they look really stilted, which is unfortunate because like the choreography and the things that they're wanting these characters to look like they're doing are cool, but it's the way they move at points where it is like it almost looks stop motion at points.
Yeah. It's sad too because I was like, all right, maybe it can pull something together and have at least if you can't give me like the story I want and the dialogue I want. And by the way, the story, I feel like they should have spent more time with Dracula than anybody because I cared about him more than fucking anybody in this series.
Yeah,
because Dracula had a banging ass story, and you're like, all right, why I don't care about Trevor and I don't care about these other people. So I'm rooting more for Dracula, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I liked that they made him sympathetic in this a lot. In the game, I could be wrong, but I think in the original Castlevania 3, it was just Dracula has opened up the gates of hell on this country. Here, he has a really good reason for doing it. I mean, he's still evil. They don't make any ifs, ands, or buts about that. The guy literally summons demons from hell, but you can see that he loved someone and was trying to be a good person out of love. And when she gets taken away from him, and that's not really a spoiler because it happens within the first 2 minutes of the show.
The lip dubbing in this is horrible.
Yeah, it's not that great.
It is bad, man. I'm sorry. I was sitting there watching. I was like, maybe I'm just reading too much into this. But there's like moments where the characters are making like an ooh sound, but their teeth are like this.
Yeah.
It's like, why won't you let her go? I'm like, what the fuck was that? And that happens more than you think. You're just like, ugh. And then I remember there was one moment, and y'all can be like, Corey, why are you nitpicking like this? If it's that notable, I don't think it's a nitpick. There's a moment where the girl's looking straight and Trevor's over here, and she turns her head, but it's only 3 frames. So it goes click, 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 and then it goes like click, click, click. I was like, whoa, what was that? And then you notice it more and more and more. So you're like, all right, I feel like there was people were cutting corners here. Like this doesn't feel like it had the full Netflix production behind it, because Netflix, y'all people forget, they made the most expensive television show ever per episode, which was Sense8, which is why that show was canceled now.
Yeah, then they immediately canceled it.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Which was a show I loved, and it had a lot of cool stuff, but it also had a lot of problems with them doing a lot of stuff with CGI and a lot of location changes and a lot of expensive equipment. So yeah, that show got canceled. I think it was costing them like $14 million an episode or something like that.
Jesus.
It was something high.
Yeah.
I remember that because I think at the time Game of Thrones was like 9.8 million or something an episode.
Yeah.
So they're beating them. So yeah, it's wild. So with Netflix, you feel like they have the money there, and you see all these other properties that are their original content. You have Orange is the New Black, which is set in a prison, which still looks beautiful for some reason. House of Cards, the cinematography in that is on some David Fincher shit.
Yeah.
And then you have their other shows like Kimmy Schmidt, which looks like a sitcom, but it's supposed to look like that. And other things that you could tell they put their money behind it, including Voltron. But with this, it just felt like, wow, there's not any kind of money behind this, or they feel like they're cutting corners. So I decided to do a little bit of investigative journalism. You know, break out my little card that says press in it, little hat.
Yeah.
And come to find out, this was supposed to be a movie.
Yeah, it was.
This is supposed to be a movie. That was going to be I think it was Paul W.S. Anderson that had his name attached to this, and then he wanted to do live action, and then it split off into being a cartoon show. A cartoon movie, which had been in production for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they finally just made its way to Netflix, and they're like, all right, we'll buy it. We'll, adjust to keep a few key things here and maybe add a scene or two here. But this is literally a TV show. A movie that was just turned into a 4-part television show, which it's a mini series is what they're saying, but this is just, it's a movie. And I feel like the company that owned this, they didn't have enough money, like that Netflix kind of money. So I'm feeling, because this has already been updated, that it's going to get a season 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be more money thrown to this so it can look better.
I think
but right
so
now
too.
it's rough.
Yeah, and I believe the animation studio behind this, I know that they're actually headquartered here in Austin. I think this is the first time they
coming for you.
I think this is the first full animated series they've done.
So you're like, all right, this is rough. But for the most part, we'll wrap this up so we can go ahead and jump into our gameplay. This is what I would say about the Castlevania series. I feel like the writing is there. It's great. The first episode, when you're learning about Dracula's reasoning behind unleashing hell upon this country, you're like, all right, I like this. If this game would have just, if this TV show would have just followed this character, even for not for the rest of the series, but even just for the rest of these 4 episodes, I'm like, all right, this is great, because I want to know what's going to lead up to post, his wife being murdered, to this 1 year that he gives all these people. I want to know how the church is handling this, how are the people handling this. Nope. Flash of 1 year later, Dracula's mad, he gets attacked, and then you start following Trevor, which is kind of abrupt. So I feel like the handling of the story was done a little poorly. Not a big fan of all the actors in here. I did not like the guy doing Trevor's voice. I did like the girl in Alucard's voice, outside of that hiss we heard him do. Yeah. And for the most part, like I said, the drawings do look great, but the animation itself, when things actually have to start moving, is where the show hits hiccups. For me personally, and this is gonna sound bad, but I promise you it's not, because I think this is justified. I think it's a rental, and this is why. I would be very upset if I had to go pay to see this, or if this was something like an anime movie that went to DVD and I had to go check it out. Like, there's plenty of anime movies that I'd be willing to go out and buy because they're good. Cowboy Bebop movie, all the Ghost in the Shell movies, Akira. Of course, those are classics. This is not going to live up to that. But this one just kind of felt like it was a pseudo bottom of the barrel thing, and it didn't really move me to make me want to watch it again. I nodded off between episodes 2 and 3.
Oh wow!
Which I was like, all right, maybe I'm just not into this, and I'm trying to be. But I did have fun with a lot of the dialogue. A lot of the writing in here, even though the dialogue was delivered roughly. And I like the whole concept of everything going on in this world. So I like that. But overall, man, it's a rental. I think it's justified being on Netflix, so it's there for you to go check it out if you want to. I do think it's if you are interested in the series, or just want to see how the course of video game things go, you owe it to yourself to check it out. And it's better than the Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm TV show.
Oh yeah.
And the Super Mario World TV show. It's better than all those. You ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, I recommend if you do, you have 2 hours to kill, go check it out. It's interesting, I think, but again, it's not the best of TV shows for me.
So honestly, like, it's on Netflix, and it would literally take you. Each episode is about 20 minutes long, so it's 80 minutes, and I see no reason to honestly skip on it completely. If I were to give it a rating, it's right between like a matinee and a full price. I'm gonna go full price on it, just because I want more people to watch it, because I want it to get better. And it impressed me when I wasn't expecting much from it. And I even went back and rewatched scenes from it that I liked after watching it the first time. So, yeah, I was pretty darn impressed by it.
All right, and again, 2 different opinions. You can go again. It's free. Oh, if you have Netflix, it's free.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to just kill some time, go check it out. Again, it's not going to eat a massive chunk out of your day. And if worst comes to worst, it's on Netflix. You can keep yourself busy and look down at your phone and surf the internet until you look back up and be like, oh wow, that was a cool scene. Oh, this dialogue's going again. So you could do that, or if you're very enamored with it, like Gertz was, you're gonna be in it and you're gonna be having a ball with it. So yeah,
and especially like off the heels of shit like Assassin's Creed, or
I know. I see now you got that better spouse.
a little. It is a little bit of that.
Yeah.
You're right. Like just coming off the shit like that, and even Ratchet and Clank, or the Angry Birds.
You didn't finish
movie.
Ratchet and Clank,
I
though.
couldn't.
You could. You chose not to.
Fair. It was nice to see something where, there, even if there are things that you might not be gelling with, at least they feel like artful choices, not like cynical ones where it's like, oh, well, we got to give this mass appeal. We got to do this because it was in the game. It's like, no, this feels like independent of the game. It feels solid to me. There are definitely things I recognize from the game, but it didn't feel like fan service. It felt like it had been woven in there in an organic way. And it's one of the few video game adaptations where I felt like they tried to make storytelling the priority. Definitely more so than the animation.
Yeah, definitely. They like, here's some kid draw there. I'm done. Damn. Like, all right, that was kind of cool. There are cool moments in here, but overall, it's for me, it was a rough watch. But I do have faith that it can get better, especially that Netflix has already ordered season 2 the moment the show came out.
Yeah.
So people are obviously into it.
Yeah. And I think the second season is going to be 8 episodes.
Oh, wow, double.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, we're so lucky. Jesus.
Hey everyone, we hope you liked the show. If you did, give us a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe to Double Toasted on YouTube. You can also find us on twitch.tv, the high score DT, all one word. Mr. Goodwin?
Or you can go over to doubletoasted.com and check out our full videos there, or also go over to SoundCloud, link in the description, or you can just sit here and watch us all day because we're going to stare for like the next 3 minutes.
Ready, go.
You should have paused it earlier. Then it would have been 3 minutes. You messed this up.
What? Oh.